Hey guys. Hello. We don't have as much light down here. Sorry, I tried to get as much light as I could. But here we are. So let's get into some martial arts stuff. Let's discuss a few things. We do these from time to time, as you guys know. As a martial artist for a really long time. Still consider myself a martial artist, as I still practice certain things as I have time. And I've always kept up with it. I did it for a very, very long time, and owned my own school, ran that school for many years, and taught prior to that for so long. And so it's just ingrained in me now, and obviously, that's where Sifu comes from, because that was the title that I was given for instruction at the school that I was running. So anyway, let's just jump into what we're going to talk about. So first, let's start with some fundamentals here. Let's start with some fundamentals and understanding basics of how we can convert some of the cool stuff that we see in, like, the movies and things like that. Like, what is he doing? Maybe, like, even if we have a chat or something like that, we can get some ideas. But if not, that's okay if we don't get that. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you a couple coming straight from me. And, if we have nothing else, then we'll get into some other things too. But we want to also focus on basics too. I'm just going to be going with some basic stuff for now for those who want to just like kind of convert some things, more simply into, self-defense, practical use things, if that makes sense. So, The first one that I want to discuss a little bit, just really, really simply. Hello, hey guys. Hello. So the first one I'd like to discuss really, really simply is a lot of the time you're gonna see, this sort of flurry of strikes coming from a kung fu martial artist or something like that. You're asking yourself, is it practical? Can it be used? And is what I'm seeing real? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Real and can be used in a real scenario. Yes, 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 and yes. However, these flurries of punches and stuff like that isn't the basic part that I'm going to help you understand. It's not the basic part I'm going to help you understand. Not at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of teach you a little bit about defense against something like that and practical use of it, so that way when you're ready for that and you're ready to tackle something like that, you can do it and sort of kind of backwards understand it a little bit. But realize this doesn't take away from it. There are no secrets here. If you're good with something like that and you're good with those flurries, you're still going to be able to use them just fine. So anybody that thinks I'm giving away, I've kind of heard this and stuff like that. Not giving anything away with a lot of this. This is stuff that it's the sort of thing where time and time again I just see martial arts getting lost in translation. And I'd like people to understand Kung Fu a bit better and respect it more for what it is, instead of misunderstanding what things are. So anyway, let's get into these sorts of things. So a lot of times you see these flurry punches like this, right? And what they're gonna do is they're gonna come right at the face like this, and you see this as a thing in Ip Man and many other Kung Fu movies and stuff like that where you get this flurry of punches, and in Ip Man, what's really cool is he uses it to kind of overwhelm the person and just knock them over. They just kind of get overwhelmed. So, what you want to understand about something like this is intended to do exactly what I just said, overwhelm. A lot of what a Kung Fu practitioner does has a lot to do with strategy and tricking the opponent and using your arsenal, essentially what you are very good at and you know in your head you're very good at, and then tricking them into what you're good at. So that way you can use your arsenal, but maybe you use a few of the other things to kind of trick your arsenal into working, if that makes sense. So, this would be somebody, if you see this coming, this is somebody that's very comfortable with doing lots of punches or hand strikes or something like that in succession, which means they know that they can get you down with it. They're not afraid to do it. And if it's already hitting you, you want to react right away. So, first thing you do not back up. Don't ever do that. Don't back up. Don't back yourself into a corner. Remember, always still root and move to the side. Remember this, but you also want to remember that the moment that you feel that coming, you want to jam those strikes. Okay, what I mean by that is you want to get a hand involved. If they're hitting you, take one hand, shove it forward, and just kind of smack them, start smacking them down. Boom, smack them down. Smack them, smack them, smack them, smack them, get ahead of them. This is the sort of thing where if somebody is a boxer and somebody has really, really, really strong strikes and it's not working, learn very quickly it's not working and don't do that thing. Go for leg sweep. This is where you change it. This is how you deduce and learn your opponent quickly. Okay, you probably already did that from a stature, right? But if you didn't, now it's not working, now it's not working. Now the legs come out, okay? Basically, this is what you want to do. Okay, notice even, like, I had a stupid thing over here on the side, and even though I hit it and my leg was obstructed, I still got up and I didn't lose my balance. Like, this is the point, is like, even though this doesn't work, I do the leg sweep, maybe I misjudge the leg sweep, and I hit him, but then something else happens, but the point is I can still get up and react and do whatever. So that's the point of these things, is to help you guys understand there's always a way out, there's always a situation and something you can deduce, do differently, or adjust and learn from. So anyway, these flurries of strikes, the point of these things is to overwhelm you because they're going to do something else. So it's not always necessarily, you know what I mean? Like, this is not what they're trying to do. Something else is coming. So get out of the way. Make them change what they're doing. The proper, a good way to work these is push-ups. Clapping push-ups especially. Like if you wanna, I know everybody calls them nunchaku, right? That's the accepted name. Nunchucks, if you use those, this is a great way to practice quick hands and stuff like that. But I digress on that subject. Let's move on. Oh, also, if you're not taller than the person, so there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, but anyway, the point is down, 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 or, you know, like hit the insides of the arms you have the arm hits and stuff like that. A lot of the purpose of these strikes, this actually gets me into the next segue. A lot of the purpose of these strikes that a lot of people see in Ip Man and stuff, you guys see a ton of strikes, right? From these Chinese boxers and Kung Fu practitioners, stuff like that. Tons of strikes. Really, really fast strikes. That's the point. But they all matter. They all matter. They're all for a purpose. They're all very specific. And a lot of it, I don't have a wooden man for you. But a lot of it has to do with that. When you see in the movies, they're using that wooden man and the arms are sticking out, right? They're doing a lot of these where they hit, cross over top, come to the outside, hit, hit, hit. So it's boom, 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 boom. And then they kind of switch to the other side. And they kind of go like this. And then once in a while, you heard the kick, right? So once in a while, they throw that little boom, boom, boom. Okay, so like a lot of this is understanding that, excuse me, a lot of this is understanding that these strikes, all these many, many strikes that you guys see in these movies and stuff like that, the purpose of these is that they're strikes. Blocks are strikes, and they're not wasted movements. So when I block and I do something like this, it doesn't look like much, but that smack on your hand, you're gonna feel like that. You see how much that bag just moved? That's that little smack on your arm. Bam! Now it's coming like this. Okay? Okay, so the point is, as I cover, like let's say I want to even attack the face and I want to come up over top, that's the point. You come up through the middle of their guard. They're doing this thing, and then you actually get an opening. See it here? It's not this one. That's what I want you to think. So this is the point. Project, 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 project. Hand. It ain't this one. Okay? Do you catch my drift? The point is, these have to be so relaxed, so purposeful. Everything that you see, it's not nonsense. It's purposeful. You know, there's a punch here, so I travel up that arm, hit the head, turn around, oh, there's a guy here. Now he's punching here, so I block with an elbow, hammer fist to the temple, and kick this guy, and finish that guy off. You know, and then in the process, now I'm facing this guy again, in case. And so the point is to always constantly have your eyes on some focal point and be able to just pay attention and no wasted movement. No wasted movement, no wasted movement. The point is that all these little strikes, all these little blocks, all these little things, they're not little. You know, it's which Ip Man was it? I don't after the first one, I really didn't watch him that much, but there was one scene from one of them that I really liked where he was like against the boxer, and he had a real tough time against the boxer, and that is true that those guys are tough to face. They have quick hands, but yeah, that scene wouldn't have gone like that. He would have just done that thing that he did at the end of the movie first off. So yes, the pressure points, even right down to the crane's beaks and stuff like that. The point is, you can, if you know how to use this and you have the knowledge for this, so go learn it. This is definitely one of those things that Kung Fu can teach you. If you have the knowledge for this, when you do those strikes, instead of this being a palm strike, hitting the arm in just any old place, this is what people think. No. I just hit you with very specific spots in my hand and very concentrated spots of my hand that are very conditioned, rock solid, and I just hit you about 10 or 12 times in some very exposed sort of, pressure point areas where your whole arm moved into that, and all I did was boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. And now I'm, up attacking your head. So, the point is, it's not wasted movement. It's the understanding of what it's there for, the understanding of why you would do it. For instance, does a front flip serve a purpose? Also, considering the ceiling clearance, why would I do a flip here? Since the ceiling clearance is here. For instance, does a front flip serve a purpose, and what purpose does it serve, if it serves one? Do we know? Okay. If you aren't conditioned enough too afraid to, at any time, to be able to throw your entire body on the ground and immediately get up, what are you doing with the training? A front flip is a very, very fancy way of continuing on your feet, and can be obtained through roll as well. No-handed cartwheel, a high jump. Oftentimes, just knowing what you're doing and how to do it, you can still do the same thing. A flip is not always necessary. And great, if you can do a flip, land on your feet, good. But this is the sort of thing where we start mixing fantasy with reality. Like, okay, I actually don't like flips because I don't like, all right, for example, I sparred somebody once who was a capoeira stylist. And he was like, no, I want you to use tiger on me and everything. And I'm like, are you sure, man? Like, I really can tune it down a little bit. And he's like, no, I really want you to. I'm like, oh, okay. And so, like, we square it off, and I just do this. And he's just like, oh, shit. Okay. And he didn't even know how to start. No lie, that was his exact reaction. I'm not exaggerating. And so I go down like this, and the guy starts like doing the whole capoeira thing where he starts like dancing back and forth, and he started doing the cartwheels and the flips. No lie. He was so projected. The moment he did this, I was just like waiting. I kept backing him up. The first movement I did, I forced him back and kicked him with a front kick in the chest and backed him into a wall. And then so we had to break that off again. And then the second time, basically all he kept doing was he kept trying to go past me and get me in the back. But he wasn't getting me. The first time he did that, I literally saw it happening and just spun around, and he actually caught my elbow. I didn't even need to extend my hammer. And then the second time he did it, I literally was like, seriously again, and I literally just timed it and went like this and kicked his sternum, and he just fell out of the air on his back. So, like, yes, you can do flips. Make sure that you don't suck. Make sure they have a purpose. Make sure you're falling before you do them. Don't just do them. Okay, so, like, I'm not saying don't learn flips and they don't have a purpose. I'm just saying you can do the same thing with a diving roll, and I'd rather you learn that anyway, because that means your body can handle knowing how to fall if you do fall, because you're gonna. So that's why I always practice the handstands, the rolls, the conditioning for that stuff. Anyway. let's get back into this. So anyway, we see a lot of these sorts of things where, like Van Damme, he loves his jumping kicks and stuff like that. He loves his back kicks. So a lot of these back kicks, they come around right like this, okay? And they sort of start right like this, and they just come around right like that, okay? So what you want to do, you want to realize with these kicks is a lot of that is coming from you twisting that torso first, that upper torso, and getting a line on that target, and then having, again, I've said this before, make sure that your knee is up. You're doing a lazy, lazy kick if your knee ain't up the moment you turn, okay? So, bam. Bam. Okay, so you want to make sure that your knee is up. If you're having trouble with these kicks, that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how to break it down. So it's guard, turn, okay? Guard, turn. All right, like that. So guard, turn. And your knee can be, it doesn't have to be that high. It can be 90 degrees. Some people think that you need to have your knee, oh, actually, let me just clear this up right now, okay? We talked about this before. Some people think that in order to do a kick, your knee needs to be here, like way up here, like mine is. No, and because of some people's hips, they're actually physically incapable of lifting it to a certain point without because of their joints the way they are. So what you have to realize is what's actually bad about that is if you're against a grappler and your leg is too high up, let's say it's up here. Okay? Well, then the grappler is just going to come in and hug your leg and trap your leg against your body. Now your leg's up in the air. And now that's going to hurt like hell when you go down on your back. And you can't do anything because your leg's up in the air. You can't get any footing. You can't twist. You can't. No. When my leg is up here, I can shift my hips and adjust. If it's too far back, it's too far back, man. Like, yes, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying there are certain things that people do because it looks cool, because, oh, I have the flexibility. You can show off and you can do that, or you can also do it properly, have all that flexibility and do it properly. Because, again, your knee doesn't need to be that high. And so anyway, when you see like stances like this, where the knee is way up, you know, like it's the sort of thing where you don't, you know, that's, if the knee is too high, it's too high, man. Anyway. It would be like if you held your guard like this. Okay, man, like I'm just gonna kick you in the stomach all day long, man. Like, what are you doing? Like a, duh. You know, like you're just gonna get hit in the ribs all day long, you know. You're gonna get your arms trapped. You know, it's the sort of thing where like you're gonna get thrown, you're gonna fall over, your arm's too high. Now this leads me into my next segue. Hold on. Common martial arts misconceptions, because people don't have the whole picture. So, a stance is a stance is a stance. It is used for conditioning and absolutely learning things in martial arts. So, we use stances to understand how to properly do certain movements. How to shift the body, how to put your feet when you're doing a technique. If you project what your stance is, just like any other movement, this person knows how to hit you. So, all the people that like kind of troll the concept, that's your stance or that's your guard, with that in mind, if this is my guard, it's probably a reason, if I'm smart. So be wary of that. Not everybody is going to be not good at martial. They might be doing that for a reason. Now, let me show you why you might do that. Let me actually give you a reason. Yeah, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to show you a reason you might use it like that. Where else would you get that, right? All right. I'm going to get hit in the ribs, aren't I? Yeah. The whole point is I want them to think this is all open. That's what I want them to think. I want them to fake at my head and go for the ribs, which is probably what they'll do. Because they'll think I'm trying to protect my head. Right? That's what you think, right? So, remember that thing I told you about called hammer fists? Very, very, very destructive. If I had anything to hit other than a heavy bag, I'd show you. These things, properly conditioned, trust me, it's knockout. Easy, knockout. Not even an effort. It's effortless knockout type stuff. And so what you have to realize is this hitting a limb when blocking legs, arms. So, Kung Fu practitioner putting his hands up here, and then you're like, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, and you throw your little kick, ha ha ha, and you try to catch him, right? All right, ha ha ha, let me try to catch you. All right, ready? You throw that kick, boom. Then you think I'm open. Boom! Boom! Okay? A Kung Fu practitioner will use that opening to his advantage because he spent all these long hours learning all these forms, all this footwork, all this technique, all the stuff that you guys think is extraneous because, brute force always wins. No, it doesn't. That's the point. So, yeah, a stance is a stance is a stance. Should you just get into a stance before a fight? Sure. Yeah. Just be ready to defend those openings. That's all. Just learn the openings of that stance. Remember that. Every stance has openings. Every single one. To think you don't. What do you have, eight arms? The point is, limit your openings and learn blocks that are in the forms of 1, 2, 3, 4. Things like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Things like that. Instead of, yeah, and then even kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. Things like that. That's stuff that I would work with people where they weren't understanding the body wraps. So I'd tell them, all right, well, tuck the shoulder. Now your elbow's lined up because now the shoulder's in. Now the elbow's going to come out at the right angle. Now that elbow suddenly jolts the arm and you can wrap it. Boom. So there's a lot of really cool things that if you learn That's what I discovered. Like, I learned karate first, and it didn't make any sense. Tang Sudo. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm open. Why would I do a punch like this, where my hand's back here, and just stand in front of somebody? And then I learned Kung Fu, and I'm like, oh, because they teach it wrong. You're supposed to be out here. Yeah, like you're supposed to be below, like the person's head's way up here. So you drop way below and suddenly deliver that strike once. Boom! All that force dropping into that stance, into that strike. It's physics, man. Which leads us into the next segue. Kung Fu is everything. Jackie Chan said that, and I love that he said that, because the point is, it truly is. You can break down what somebody's teaching you and learn if it's BS or not, because you can use science. Does what they're teaching you line up with science? And if it doesn't, don't learn from that person. Okay, so for example, if somebody thinks brute force always wins, show them. How do you show them? Well, it can be tricky. But, you get the biggest guy you can, obviously, and you demonstrate on him. But the point is, like the 1-inch punch and stuff like that. Every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So as your brute force and stuff like that, realize that for every muscle that you tense and you get you're restricting other muscles and not properly rooting yourself to the ground every time you do that. Every single time. So every time that you're in karate class and you're going, Kia! You're doing it wrong. Every time. Every single time. And you're slamming your joints out. No, joints should be slightly bent. Again, if you're doing a punch, that joint, that elbow should be about there. Even punches like this, same thing. Like my elbow is about like that. Same thing. Don't ever lock joints, ever. Even doing kicks, stances, same thing. Stretching, same thing. Don't ever fully extend joints. Ever. Ever. So, that's the point. You're using the leverage of that pinch point of that elbow joint, that shoulder, that stance. All those pinch points, each one working together. Now, instead of all that muscle slamming it out, on all I have to do, if you know physics, this is why this works. Joe Rogan, I hope you're watching. The guys that just get knocked over with a hit, it can happen, but some of those videos are false. The point is, somebody throws a punch really hard with all their force, all this tension. Yes. Very easily. All I have to do... Hold on, let me think. Right there. Right here. Right here. Joe Rogan, try it. Seriously. That's all you gotta do, right here. So get somebody to throw a punch at you from across, and then the exact point, I'll even tell you how to do it. I know how to do it. Bring me along, I'll show you. Opposite hand, opposite arm. They throw that punch, you go straight in so that it misses your head, and then you tap. Just, boom. Shove right in the right spot. Seriously, all their force against that is you using this little bit in just the right spot to launch them into the air. That's what's going to happen. And yes, it works. It's also about timing. You know about timing, right? So at the exact point of which they should have reached impact. Because again, that's their that's where it's so just be quick about it. Just be quicker. That's it. And so again, just shift in, boom. And they'll just, it doesn't matter if they're throwing the punch, it'll stop dead and they'll just fly back. I've done it. This is why Kung Fu practitioners and stuff like that, they can just do body shots and stuff like that and push you around all day. That's why. Because you're not learning to be relaxed about stuff. And learning that science is about leverage. Use it like essentially, if I know exactly how you're standing and I can feel that, now you understand how grappling relates to stand-up. And how Kung Fu has grappling in it, but most people don't know how to use it. Step on somebody's toes sometime when you're sparring. Just start doing that. See what happens. You'll start kind of understanding a little bit more. Do that a little bit. Seriously. Just do stuff like that. Like if you allow the grappling in your sparring scenarios and stuff like that, do that sometimes. Just put your toes right on their toes and see what they do. Just come in like you're gonna bop them, but then just stand on their toes and see if they go to move, but then they get off balance, and then you got your shot. Yeah, you start understanding little nuances like that. You just then the light bulbs go off. So, again, yeah, there's going to be guys out there that say that, they can do this and that, and you see the ridiculous video and it doesn't look like that. But then also, a video is just a video, too. It's really hard to convey something unless you feel it. And that's why a lot of times, anytime in class somebody would say something like that, that's not going to work. Trust me. All I would do is say, okay, grab me. And then you immediately see like 3 other brown sashes that have dealt, essentially learned from me for over the years, just kind of oh, here we go, and they're just waiting for it, and I just do it and it works, and the person's like, okay, yep, that was cool. You're right. And so the point is, even I was at that point. I learned karate and I learned the Tang Soo Do, and I learned a lot of stuff wrong, and I learned, not to crap on any type of karate system. I'm not crapping on it. I'm not. I'm just saying that it's only a building block. That's fine if you want to learn it. But just realize some of that stuff might be wrong, and you might want to learn from a smart instructor, as long as that instructor knows to modify certain things so you're not injuring yourself. That's really the concern. Because a lot of time they really do that stuff terribly. Anyway, like the thing I told you about, we don't break boards, we break cinder blocks. Because we did. But we also don't stand there and try to hit them really hard. It's not how we do it. So just realize that at a certain point in a Kung Fu practitioner's training, they're gonna learn how to break that cinder block without hitting it. No chi or anything, powering up to Super Saiyan or anything like that. No, just literally, it's a conditioning where you just do an exercise where you're with just kind of, you're not really hitting it. You're not hitting it. You're hitting it, but you're not. It's no force. No force. Absolutely no muscles being exerted. Except that's the point of contact, but you'll get that. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. All this, you say it's wasted movement, but then the point is, well, For you, it would be, and your training. So that's my point. Is you probably had, somebody that, like that's the point, is if you had, depending on the instructor, you had somebody that taught you wrong. My segue to Kung Fu is Everything is anything in life is like this. If you learn it wrong, even politics, and I don't want to make politics about this, but this truly is true. Anything, if you learn it wrong, you won't be able to accept certain facts later on about that thing. You do this with martial arts, you do it with politics, you do it with everything. This is why I have an open mind about a lot of things. Because through meditation, through understanding science and accepting more things, martial arts, accepting intelligence and using one's mind to figure things out, you have to accept things for what they are. And so, yeah, some stuff's wrong. It's disappointing. But oh well. And then you learn the real truth behind it, and sometimes it's actually pretty awesome. Sometimes it ends up being cool. Ends up being cooler than what you thought originally. So it can work the other way around too, but wouldn't you rather know the truth? Wouldn't you have rather learned how to do the thing right the first time? Instead of always being in denial and not understanding why people are kind of, like, all right, that's, you go over there and I go over here, like not understanding that, and it's not, you get it. You're just not accepting certain things. So, this is everything. This is Kung Fu is Everything, and this is one of those things. If you learn wrong, you learn wrong. I just explained an example of something from karate to Kung Fu that's flat out wrong. I'll show you one. I'll show you another one. I'll show you one. Sure. I don't mind. How are you going to block something like this? What is this? This isn't anything. I have no strength doing this. This is a pull point. Somebody with Krav Maga or grappling is going to grab my wrist and wrench my arm back behind my head, and I'm going, ah! That movement, that's it. That's it, just that. Grab the wrist, hit the arm, roll it under. It's literally that simple. Yes, I'm not good at it. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. And so, it's literally that simple. I'm just turning it to a fist for techniques purposes, but you'd be pushing on the elbow. The point is, with let me get back on track here. Let me get back on track. You want to make sure that with everything, that you're doing in martial arts, you're always going back to the basics, and you're always breaking it back down and going back to the beginning, and remembering, before I forget this, you're remembering to go back to the beginning, basics. What is this? No, more basic. This isn't right. This is not right. What are you blocking with this? I'm not doing a block like this. You think this works? No. Even the fist is fine. Fist is fine. I'm not saying anything about the hand. Fist is fine. It's wrong. It's this. Not this. Why would I do that? Huh? This? So I'm going to put my head intentionally close to your body and give you leverage over my arm. Sounds like at some point, at gunpoint, they were shown to show them martial arts. Remember Ip Man? The point was they were forced to show them martial arts. They didn't show them right. It's all wrong. Take this and convert it to this. That's it. Any block that you have in karate that's this, do this instead. I'm serious. Move your hand further from your head. Just a little tiny, tiny, tiny bit. It's really not even further from your head. It's just more bent. Yeah, it's actually pretty close. It's not here, though. Yeah, that sucker's going right up over, and I'm falling over. You get me? Now, just like with the leg, like we talked about, if this is too far out, it's too far out. Don't do that. But yeah, it's the same thing with punches, man. It's the same thing with chops. Why are you doing a chop like this? Why are your fingers together? Are you trying to break your hand? No, I'm genuinely asking, are you trying to break your hand? Because you're gonna. These are things you can just see in the movie. I'm not giving you a secret. You could see this in the movie. You could see Jackie Chan and all them doing it too. They do it too. Look at the guys that know what they're doing. And why do you learn this in karate class? Seriously, American karate teaches... Your kids are going to be breaking their hands, man. That's terrible. No, fingers apart. And when you hit, there's a little tiny bit of a curl for a brace. With every action, there's an equal and opposite. So if you brace and you curl, these back fingers are kind of like back support. It's just like setting up your elbow just right for the punch. Everybody knows that in boxing, right? So why can't you convert this to martial arts? You can only know it for boxing, but you can't convert it to martial arts. No, it's the same thing. That's why these punches work better. It has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with your stance and your level and where you are from your opponent. If I stand like this, yes. Why would I try to twist my... No. This punch will work just fine if I'm taller than you, bigger than you, and my hands are up here. Yes. That's why you punch like that in boxing. Make sense? But in martial arts, no. So then why do they teach you this in karate? Every punch is like that? No, it's not. Punches are different. Punches come like this. They come like this. They come like this. Most effective. Yes, they come like this, properly set up. They come like this. Are you kidding me? They look like this. Are you kidding? I'm not trying to give away any secrets. I'm just painting a picture for you guys. To the stuff I see when I watch martial arts movies, and I'm just cringing at how bad it is sometimes. And I'm like, you kidding me? Get me to do that scene. I'll do it 20 times better. Now, sometimes I'm like, bravo. That was awesome. The Bourne movies were, love it. Love the fighting in those movies. The Bourne movies? Yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, not stepping on any toes. Like I said, I'm not crapping on Tung Sudo. In Japan, over in Korea, it's pretty legit. It's a lot different than over here. No, it is. I'm talking about American karate. Now, some of these guys over here are fat slobs. Just being honest. I've seen an instructor This is a long time ago. This was when I was young. But yeah, the instructor I had in karate, whew, he was fat. He almost never did anything. It was very unfair. He would always dish out lots of push-ups. There was almost never anything of value. He kept holding me back. I was really good at kicking. He kept saying, no, he can't learn that yet. And everybody's like, well, but look how good he is. Can't I just... And then, like, he would, like, give them push-ups for it. That's terrible. Anyway, this guy, like, he was a fat slob, and he was terrible. And there's quite a few like that. So just be careful with that. I'm not trying to, like, be, like, mean towards fat people or anything like that. I'm just saying, you're a martial arts instructor, man. Like, I don't know, like, why are you so fat and why are you slobby? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I really wanted to, I could have just, like, later on, it would have been very easy. Like, the guy obviously didn't have very much skill. I learned that later on. So, this is what you have to realize is, like, my understanding of martial arts was vastly greater than his, even into, I think, 2 or 3 levels into Kung Fu, proper Kung Fu system. So just don't be afraid to learn it, but learn with a system that has sparring. Always learn with a system that has full contact sparring, because otherwise you're not learning anything. You're not using it. It's not practical. If they don't teach full contact sparring, don't go there. There's no practical use. Unless you're just learning it because you're interested in the art and you like the forms, whatever, fine. Great. Do whatever you want. If that school's willing to work with you at certain times and have classes for that, fine. But if you if you're using it for practical use and you expect to be able to use it for self-defense, this is the point behind a lot of the American karate in my area anyway, and what I've seen in this country. They don't teach real self-defense. Like, a lot of the stuff that I see that they do, that'll get you in trouble if you try to do it that way. It'll actually be bad for you. That's why I'd like, I find it very important, and I offer that information for free for people, because I consider that a public service. If the information's wrong, I consider that a public service. I consider it, these guys are delivering it to you as if claiming to be experts and nobody's doing anything about it. I should. And the best I can do is to deliver it to you properly. Okay? I'm not going to step on their glory and try to mess with them. But I will try to give it to you properly. I'm not talking about any secrets here. I'm not going to give you long techniques or... I know a whole system I could teach. But I'm not gonna. We're not doing that here. These are just fundamentals for you, for martial artists or people to be motivated into learning martial arts or getting back into it, or already doing it. Sort of like what Bruce Lee did with Jeet Kune Do. This is what you need to realize about Jeet Kune Do. It's not intended to be used by itself. Don't use it for that. Anybody showing it to people that learn it like that, they don't know what they're doing, because it wasn't intended for that. It was intended for black belts, people that are of a higher skill level, to be able to enhance what they already have. There's a style that unless you understand those concepts, you won't understand it properly. Thus you'll learn the whole thing wrong. And you see what's happened. You have entire styles teaching Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee style. Oh my gosh. Are you requiring them to show they're black when they learn it? No, probably not. So this is I heard of a place doing that, but very rarely. I actually did hear of one place doing it, and good for you. But anyway, I digress. Unless you can break it down, unless you can teach it all, and understand how those fundamentals work, you shouldn't be offering self-defense, in my opinion. You know, you should be able to show how to do something properly, how on all different body types. You know, if a little old lady comes in or something like that and she wants to learn self-defense, you got to be realistic about it. You can show her self-defense. Why not? Sure. Be realistic with her, though. Does she have bad joints? Does she have, like, basically no strength at all? Is she sort of frail and stuff like that? Be realistic. You can't expect her to actually learn anything. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's, like, you know, really, really kind of frail or has, like, you know, like, it's always a modified sort of thing. And you have to be able to do that. Like I said, I used to teach all different kinds. And I tried really hard not to exclude somebody because of a disability or something like that. I did my very best to modify it for that person's needs. You know, as best that you can, anyway. And that's the point. Kung Fu is everything, so why can't you? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, we can. So, that's the point. And the point is that it takes all of us, you know. Yes, we can. But it takes all of us. It takes you guys to see it, too, and accept it. Because we have so many people that want to have an excuse for something instead of trying it out, you know, and seeing it does work, you know. It's really fun, though, to see the guys that do, and then they put the time into it, and they're like, oh, man, this is great. I'm so glad I stuck with this. And it's really rewarding, you know. Anyway, if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We're going to get into a couple more things, but it's not going to go too much longer. We're going to get into a couple more things. All right. So, how do we convert this cool stuff that we see to practical use? So, I'm going to give you one example, and I'm not going to like tell you how to do it, but I'm going to give you an example. I'm just going to convert one for you. Okay? Sword. This is a cool one. This will be a cool one. So what we're going to do is, this is with a straight sword. Straight swords are cool. You can do lots of stabs. You can do body wraps. You can do that with a straight sword. You just have to do it a little bit different. But yeah, straight swords are really cool. Anyway, the movement that we're going to do is, you're going to put your hand right like this. Other hand just like you normally would on your sword. I brace my thumb. Does anybody else do that? I do it quite a bit. I also, depending on what I do, I'll bring my index finger around for a little bit more control, okay? You are still getting that type of grab. I won't say it. But you are still getting that type of grab that my students know what I mean. Okay? So you are still getting that type of grab when you do that, so that thing ain't going anywhere. That thing ain't going anywhere. So anyway, that's kind of the point behind that is if you properly know how to do that, I'm bracing behind with this thumb, so it does act as that type of a grab, because the four fingers here. Anyway, when we're doing this, we want our hand positioned this way, and we're gonna do this open hand, okay, and you're gonna want your hand about here. Okay, so this is going to be a block up. It's going to be a block up, and then you're going to kick, okay? So it's going to be a block up, kick straight into the bag, okay? Stop it. So block up, kick straight in, and we're going to convert this, okay? A lot of the time you're going to see this in some sort of a movie where, like, maybe somebody's, like, coming down with another weapon or something like that, and they just do a really quick, you know, like, oh, boom, you know? So that's what you're doing. It's sort of kind of block, boom, you know? So this is what we're going to convert here. Ah, you know what? Maybe I'll get the real one. Hold on. We'll get the real one. You guys, anybody that's been around the channel for a while? You've been around the channel for a while? Anybody in here been around the channel for a while? Been around for a while? Anybody in here been around for a while? This is the thing that was rolling around in my car. This is it. This was the thing that was rolling around in my car for so long that you kept hearing doom, doom, every single time I'd accelerate or turn or something. This was it. It was this thing. So anyway, let's convert it. Again, original technique. Original technique. Block up, kick. Okay? So again, block up, kick. You can do this here from a nice lower stance, or you can do this just straight up, but just square up a little bit. Straight up, and then kick, okay? But the whole point is to block up and kick. I usually kick face, but if you're driving them back, it's got to be here that you're kicking, because you have to have the leverage. It's got to be the chin. If you can kick that high, that's what I'm doing with that. I'm literally doing that. That's me. You want to kick here. Right here. That's where you want to kick, trust me. Don't fall on your ass. You just don't. Trust me. The front kick is really hard to get that high at first. Kick here. We're converting this to if you have a bat. And it will work a little bit differently because it's a bat. Can't do the same thing. No. Nah. Doesn't make any sense. Now you can still cup with the thumb, but you're going to want this at an angle. So do not. Nope, not like this. No. That bat's coming right out of your hand. And I've demonstrated this before, where I'm like, go ahead, hold the bat like this. I just want to show you something. And I came by with my staff, and I went, boom! And then we're like, ah! So it's the sort of thing where you need to realize this thing's going to start rolling around quick if you dislodge it. Angle. Now suddenly when that hits, you can shift. It works with you. Okay? Sword's a little bit different. Can't grab it. You have to do that one a certain way. You have to. With a bat, you're fine. So, plant the bat, block, and you're actually going to drive forward. Eesh, I almost knocked it off. You're actually going to, that works so well, I almost knocked it off. You're actually going to drive forward, and then you can knee. So you're gonna modify it. It probably won't be a kick, it'll be a knee. Okay. And then I roll into the drum kit. So anyway, that's the modification. I can show you another one. While showing you a practical application too. So, we've seen, I'm going to show you something really cool. We've seen the curved blades, the katanas, right? You've seen those. Everybody knows what katana is. Chinese broadsword's very similar, except it has a thicker end. You remember Huang from Soul Calibur, the first Soul Calibur? Chinese broadsword. Okay, so curved blade and very similar to a katana, curved blade, except thicker. Katana could slice through it if you know what you're doing, but it was meant to defend against that. So yeah, it's very hefty and it's very heavy, but would often be used, on a shoulder or to do wraps and stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the concept of a curved blade and transfer that to this. I'm gonna show you how to do that really quick. Just with one thing. I'm gonna show you one thing. Okay, so there's a really, really cool curved blade. Do I have a curved blade thing here? I really don't. I'm going to use this because it's floppy. I'm going to use this as my curved blade, and then I'll translate. I'll use the wooden sword then, okay? But I don't have any curved blades, so I want to just use this so that it's more of like a whipping motion. Because a curved blade, you have to understand, most curved blades are not heavy. So the Chinese broadsword being a heavy curved blade, it's a medium-sized sword. That thing is heavy. Anyway, so don't underestimate a Chinese martial arts. So anyway, the point is, what you want to do with that curved blade is normally you'd see this, right, where you have this nice long stance where it's up over the head, right? Okay, and then the blade looks so cool because it's like curved up over the head, right? So that's your stance, and it's gonna look a little bit different depending on the way you're facing, but that's your stance. And so basically what we're gonna do here is you're gonna drop this behind. It's gonna fall a little bit behind, like sort of kind of like this, and then you're gonna slice as you spin. But this is more advanced. I'm gonna convert this concept to a simpler concept for you. Okay? But with curved blade, it's okay. And this is meant to be done like this. Like essentially, I'm doing those a bunch of times. So, anyway, on the target, it's going to be drop behind, slice. And then you're set up for another one. But you slice before you spin. The spin is to help you get the slice. It's momentum. You're spinning around to reset your footwork. That's what I think people miss about that. Okay? The slice actually looks like this. When you come around, slice, and then you're set up for another one. So I'm actually like this. The slice comes like this, and then the person's right here. You have to understand the person's right here. I've already sliced them. So it's slice, spin, and I'm sort of beside them now, almost behind them. Slice, and then I can slice the back of their neck. So anyway, the point that I'm making is take that and convert it to this for you. Easier. Less effort. Do you know why? Yeah. The sword's not as hefty. It's easier to manipulate. This is a very light sword, and it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be sort of kind of, you do a lot of this stuff. You know, stuff like that. So, yeah, it's very sneaky. Oh, there's somebody behind you. Watch out. Boom. Okay, so anyway, take that original concept and apply it to this. You're not going to drop it back behind you because there's a blade on it. It's not going to hit your back. Don't do that. Right here. Normal guard. Seriously, right here. You're going to stab out like you're going to fake. So that way, that's like your arm movement to set up what you're going to do. Okay, so this concept, where we had all this, is simplified because the sword isn't as big and as hefty. We don't need the footwork. We can whip it around with just our wrist. So it changes things. We don't have to do all that. We can just keep it here and do a little stab to set it up. Now we lift our leg. Boom. 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 We can even do it as we move back, but you should move forward. So it's sort of kind of like this. Boom. 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 So what you're doing is you're hitting with that tip. Just the tip. And slicing very, very accurately. Here, here, here. Very, very accurately. So it's sort of like a stab, flick, flick, flick. See it? Okay. You guys got flicked. Just wanted to give you a little taste. My phone has a case on it, so it's okay. I just wanted to give you a little taste. Even though it's like this little cheap wooden sword, you could see what a flick can do. Just bam, right away. So, okay. Okay. So that's just one. That's just one. That's just one. What does it look like over here, upside down? Does it look funny? I'm upside down. All this shit down here. We still got Mr. Driller down here. You guys remember when we played Mr. Driller? Anyway. I appreciate you guys, your support. So yeah, there's a little fun conversion for you. It's always a challenge with this thing. You know what I mean? Oh, crap. No, I just unhooked that one. There we go. Yeah, crap. That thing's heavy. I forget, what is this? 80, I think. Oh, it's 50. It's 50. It's not 8. It's not quite 80. But it is a 50-pounder. So yeah. I didn't want to light. There is no such thing as a light heavy bag, right? Like if it's a heavy bag, it better be a heavy bag, right? Yeah, I wanted the heavy one. At that, like, way back when I was like still in high school, I think even. I got this when I got really serious into my martial arts. And I was always, you know, like I didn't have the space to do my forms at home, so I'd at least do my conditioning and stuff like that. So I'd hit the bag and stuff a lot, and cinder blocks and stuff. So that, like, a lot of the conditioning and stuff like that was stuff I was able to do more of at home, and I had the space to do, like, you know, forms and stuff, and work techniques with partners and stuff at the school. It was always fun, you know, obviously. It's always fun doing martial arts with people, you know. Well, it's always fun doing that instead of just by yourself. Anyway. Yeah. That was all I had really planned, kind of in my head. I had like this itinerary in my head and kind of got through it there. So, again, if there's anything else that you guys want to ask, I'm not here to show off, but if there's anything you'd like to ask about, that's what I'm here for. Stretch it back a little bit. By the way, should we talk stretching a little bit? Stretching is the #1 thing people do wrong. Maybe we should. Maybe we should talk stretching a little bit. Here. Let's talk that a little bit. So if we come over here to the wall, you can see me okay. So if we come over here to the wall, get all the cobwebs out of here. Yeah, this isn't the wall for this. Hold on. We're taking a trip. This ain't the wall for this. We're taking a trip. Oh wow, there's noise out here. They've been at it all day. I don't know what they're doing. You wanna come out? You wanna come out? Okay, or just lay there and stare at me. That's fine too. Alright, let's see, we gotta find a wall. This'll work. Now where can I put you guys down now? Shit. Okay, that won't work. Oh, I know. I have a spot. This'll be fine. Okay. So one thing I wanted to show you guys is a lot of stretching and stuff is about certain points. So a lot of this can actually be done with a wall. One of the things I like to do is actually what I just did. You kind of put your foot up, and you just sort of kind of like just lean in. Oh, I felt it crack just then. If I sort of kind of grab with both hands here, and you know what I mean, I keep my chest up, and I just kind of pull forward a little bit with my chest, I will feel that pull. Now, this is if you can do this, if you're flexible enough, because it's a good stretch in the legs too. So again, we grab here, and we sort of just pull. That was awesome. There's a lot of cool stretches that we can do, but this was definitely like always a thing. This is definitely always a thing that people struggled with. Like, I'd see people doing stretch. That's like I would do circle stretches with people, so everybody's doing the same thing, and they can see me doing it, and see some of the other people doing the stretches and know how it's done. That way, it's you know, less of them doing it incorrectly. Do a split. Well, I'm not quite flexible to do a full split anymore. I used to be able to do that when I was training like every single day, doing kicks like that and stuff like that. Don't worry, I can still kick people in the head though. Muscle memory's still there. I mean, I can still do a split, but it's just not going to be a full split. But yeah, I mean, straddle, a straddle is different than a split too, and that's actually something that people would get wrong. A split is when you, that's a split. So you can tell by my hips. Now I gotta do it the other way. That's a split. Straddle's like this. So like there is a difference. You want to see me get active? That's weird. No handstands. My training floor is dirty. Very dirty. I have to clean it. It rains so much. Otherwise we'd be on that. Could do it. The grass is just so wet. I'd rather not get my uniform all messed up. Do it inside. Do handstands. It's been a while, but I don't have any type of. I don't mind. I would do that. What else can I do that's active, really? I already did some kicks. I was already spinning around with the sword. Mad hard. I ain't gonna punch it mad hard without tape. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not tearing my skin. No reason. With tape, I'd do it. I need to get some tape. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. My issue is my gloves are gone. Like, I would have been doing that for a while, but because I used to fingerless gloves only. Quan makes some really good fingerless gloves, but fingerless gloves, like in UFC, all the way. Not boxing gloves, fingerless gloves, because then you can actually do stuff. You can actually position your hands properly and stuff like that. So I used to have a really nice set of those, but they got in storage. I don't know what happened to them. They like disintegrated. But yeah, I mean, if I punched it as hard as I could, I actually did knock it off the thing before when I did that. So I don't know that I'm going to punch as hard as I can, because I locked it clean off the thing. It's clean off. You could palm strike it. Could do that. Yeah, I could do that. You can do palm strikes like that too. Just go in this direction. It's more of a chop, but I like palm strikes that direction because you can. So, a lot of the stretches that I used to do were actually, quite a bit of them were based on yoga. Yoga's a good thing. Yoga and martial arts go hand in hand. Flexibility is strength. These people don't realize. In martial arts, flexibility is strength. I mean, flexibility is strength in anything, really. But you know, the point is, you know, if you're flexible, yeah, those muscles are large. So. Accomplish a lot learning yoga, applying it to martial arts. A lot of my sort of like master level martial arts stuff really happened when I started being able to understand how Tai Chi works. You know, like the thing I explained throughout this whole thing, where, you know, there's this concept where, you know, people can learn wrong. They can think that, you know, tension and force is how you do something and stuff like that, but it's just going to be wrong at the end of the day. And so, you know, like through me understanding Tai Chi, I immediately, you know, like fully grasping how to convert that to martial arts, I immediately, basically overnight, went from a sloppy martial artist to a crisp one. Because that's all it was. It was understanding that once all that, years and years and years of speeding up, going as fast as I can, sparring, full contact, these forms, and you learn all these super long forms, and then you learn how to do them in a row, and then you got to do them maybe 10 or 12 forms 20 freaking times in a row, and oh my gosh, it takes takes so much out of you, and then you start understanding how to break them down, and it's incredible what you can do. And Tai Chi really does that for you. It really fills in the blanks. Proper Tai Chi anyway fills in the blanks. So slowing down movements. How long did it take you to be a black belt? It took a long time. It took many years. Many years. I was the level of right before black for longer than any other level before black, and part of that was because I had decided that I wanted to become an instructor. So I spent a lot of time, that's actually what this is still from, before I was head instructor and owner and stuff. That's still from when I used to wear this in training and stuff like that, when I was learning to be an instructor, and very quickly was able to slip into those things, and since I already sort of kind of helped out as I went along anyway, just naturally gravitated towards that. My level of understanding of martial arts, though, went through the roof when becoming an instructor, because, again, if you know what you're doing and you know how to be an instructor, you won't do one thing a certain way. You'll do it 5 or 6 different ways, because it changes depending on the size of your opponent and how they're coming at you. So, and how you're standing, too. What position are you in? Does that technique even fit for that, or are you trying to force it? Can it be modified or can't it? Understanding how to do that. That's the point. The level of understanding went through the roof when I was kind of able to do that. And so that's why that level just took so long, because I just spent so much time more in study mode. I was perfecting every little movement. I had to do every form to my left and right side. Every technique to my left and right side. And just as good. The point at which I was doing them backwards. Like the whole point is, I'm inside and out. And I do. And the techniques too, there's a lot of techniques. And that's good. It's good. You want a lot of that. You need ways of organizing information. So, there's a lot to learn and remember and stuff that's different from just learning it to be, a student versus instructor. So yeah, there was just a lot of time to spend on that level. I'd say a good probably 4 years, maybe, even, like, just right at that level, just tackling those things head on for like a solid 3 to 4 years. Yeah, I'd say so. I also took a break from it. That doesn't, when I was actually learning and stuff and getting better, I took a break. It helped with some things and hurt with some other. It helped with mental, but yeah, with muscle memory, when you're learning, you have to keep at it. Now, once it's muscle memory, but you have to really keep at it when you're training. And so that was why I really buckled down and spent a lot of time, just because I was already, when I took the break, I was already almost that level. So the level right before black was what I spent, again, like 4 years on. I'd say probably, I think about 8 years, something like that, to go through my whole system and become a black, something like that. Probably about 8 years. But to be an instructor and be black, that's a little bit different too. So if I wasn't doing that, it would have been a lot sooner. It would have been 5 years probably. But no, about 8 years. It's intense, man. So yeah, took a long time. I'm a lot older than I look. But yeah, it took a long time. A lot of this, well, I owned my school when I was in my 20s. In my 20s. So it's a long time ago that I owned my school. But yeah, I've been doing martial arts a long time. That is loud, isn't it? Ugh. True story. Anything else? I know I said we are definitely gonna, like, I have to, honestly, like, we just had so much freaking rain. It's been rain. Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have so much rain, I'd be outside doing this more often on the training floor like we used to. You guys can look it up. We've done stuff on here before. We used to do stuff when I owned my school way back. I have some stuff on the channel from that. From when I owned my school. And recorded some stuff at the school and all that. And also here, but you know. There was stuff I was doing at the time too, like way back. Lots of just shadow boxing and stuff like that. The visualization of opponents, just practicing the martial arts and imagining attackers. So, you know, just kind of posting that stuff. Did mashups of that with music and stuff like that. And so that's on the channel too. It's called. There's one that's called Way to Fight Ultimate Edition. If you're gonna watch one, watch that one. Way to Fight Ultimate Edition. If you're gonna watch one, watch that one, because that one's like a collab of like a bunch of them. You just see it. But there's definitely like the first one was all at the school. That first one was all recorded at the school. And I did like a staff basics video too, back when I was promoting the school and stuff and just putting instructional videos out there. You know, just trying to promote the school, stuff like that. So that was on there, and yeah, so pretty happy with that video for the most part. Boy, that was loud. Beep, beep. Nunchucks? Nunchucks? We actually have a lot more time at that. Nunchucks? We can do some nunchucks. So I was taught a different name for that. In Chinese. There's a different name for that. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. The person that taught me the name, he even admitted that like he used to say the name wrong and couldn't remember exactly. And that's okay. Like, I'm just being honest with you. He was like, he's not a Chinese guy or anything like that. He just truthfully wanted to instruct the fact that, you know, it's not called nunchaku. It really originally was not called that. That's again the not the original name, but he couldn't always necessarily remember. So you can correct me if anybody ever actually knows what it is. But Yang Chai Kwan, if that sounds right. That's what we used to call them. We used to just call them Yangtze Kwans. And I don't remember. He said he thinks it's either Lang Chai Kwan or Yang Chai Kwan. I think that's what he used to say, and he couldn't remember which one was correct. So I just say Yang Chai Kwan because that sounds more correct to me, but I don't actually know. But either way, Yang Chai Kwan, that's what it had an original name, just like Kwando is different than a Pudao. I'm not sure what that was about. A Kwando is different than a Pudao. A Pudao is a smaller weapon, but it is that weapon. It's just smaller. A Kwando is literally it was used for. Unfortunately, it was used for taking out the horses. I just sort of hold it. That's what it was for. So it had to be heavy. And yeah, and then the Pudao obviously was used for more just common ranged attack. But there is a difference, definitively, even though they're the same thing. But they're not. If that makes sense. So you have a lot of weapons like this. And Yang Chai Kwan refers to the fact that I think you're using doubles, right? Because they're always supposed to be used as doubles, never as singles. I do use it as a single, though. I like it as a single. But you should always learn as a double so that you can learn it properly. Give me a sec. This is like ancient, man. So this is from when I was like a little kid. This is my karate uniform when I was a kid. I told you. Because they always use white uniforms. Well, I shouldn't say always, but they do. See? This is my old karate uniform from when I was a kid. Look how small it is. Look how small it is. Isn't that funny? It has the organization on the back, but I'll skip that part. But it was part of the World Tongue Pseudo Association, as you can see. But yeah, this oh man. This is old. Look at how short these arms are. It's so funny. Anyway. It's time. So, with these, again, these are just foam padded ones. They are tracked, like they have tracks, like ball tracks and stuff like that, and real metal chains, just like real ones do, and weighted pretty similarly. So yes, but they are foam, so they're for practice use. The real ones are, I used to teach with those at the studio, but I'm not going to be using those today. That's just for, that's just for a controlled environment. That's not for streaming purposes. So anyway, with these, now that I laid them down with dust, So with these, actually, I may hit the ceiling here, but we'll see. With these, a lot of this is just understanding how to chamber and where to hold it. And understanding that you want to continue your movement. So whatever you do, you're continuing that movement. Yeah, see, like that's what you have to worry about. Now, if that happens, be prepared to recover like I just did. If you whack something and the ceiling's too tight, flick down and rechamber like I just did, recover. But that is why I was a little concerned. Here's a dent. You can see how these things are just, they really are just foam. But they will whip around just like normal nunchucks do, so that way you can practice. But anyway, the idea is that a lot of these are just hits. Every time you come out, that's a hit. So, that's what you're doing with that. So essentially, 1, 2, 3. And then that middle one, if you notice I didn't hit with it, that middle one can be a block. So like that's what I'm thinking is a lot of times like you have to think outside the box. So like the first one might be an initial hit, but then they throw a counter, so you block and hit up and chamber. It's all about how you do it. I'm just trying to keep it away from the ceiling, man. That's why I'm like ducking. Yeah, my arms are so long. So I'll try to keep it down. So anyway, out. And then when you do these, if you notice, I sort of kind of work my hand toward the end, because you could get it tighter. And then comes back again. These practice ones spin a little bit weird. They spin better this way. So you can, something I like, a cool maneuver is from chamber. You can come across like this. So from the chamber, you come across like this and whip out. And then when you come back, you can come back around. I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that. So again, you can come across, whip out. That's pretty cool. So basically, I'm just coming across. I'm going to cross this way, out. And that's a hit, by the way. So when I do that, I'm coming across. See how it's here? It's right here. So let's do that again. I come across. Okay, so across, out, and then all I do is come straight from here around, whack, 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 whack. Part of the reason I'm doing all that, here, let me explain a little bit, because this might look foreign to somebody that's not used to this weapon, so let me explain a little bit. You have to get back to your chamber. It's a chain. Just like a chain whip or anything else you hold on to and bring it back. You have to get it back to its resting point. Back to your guard, whatever that is. Okay, whether it be holding it like this, whether you're holding it like this, whether you're holding it like this, whatever that is, you have to have it back. I mean, even this, you can. That's fine. It's just that this is ready, and it's also sneaky. Okay, so just be aware of that. Anyway, the whole point here is that what's cool about some of these maneuvers is while there's so many that you can do and they're very simple, part of the reason I'm doing all that is because once I'm like out here and I've already done this maneuver like I just showed you where we come across and we hit, now I have to come back here just to come back here. So basically what a lot of this is while I am doing this, I come up over my head. Now, because I'm going this way and my arm's moving this way, I have to hit back here just to be able to come back. I can't just, well, I hit around, now I'm just going to put my arm here. No, that's sloppy. That's not how it works. You have to come around and turn this into a technique. It's going to come back, back, back. You can't, you know what I mean? You have to get it back to its resting point if that's what you're going to do. So you got to make a movement out of that. If you want it back here, get it back there. But make a movement out of it. Don't let me put it back here. That's not how it works. You know, it's lazy. It's sloppy. You'd be like, you get what I'm saying, you know, just don't do that. Like, the whole point is, if it's already out here moving, well, now you got to get it back there. So yeah, back, back, back. You know, it'd be like if you were attacking with a sword. It'd be like if you were attacking with a sword, and you know you did your stab, right? You did your stab, cool. And then you're about to bring your, nah, never mind. I'll just leave it here. Maybe I'll just kind of put it down and leave it sloppy or something. No, what? No. That's a great way to get attacked and get your sword knocked out of your hand. Put it somewhere. But have a purpose. With the chain, the whole reason that you've got a chamber is you got to control that chain. That thing's whipping around like crazy. So if you don't rechamber, you don't control that somehow. I know I'm using chamber, funny word, right? if you don't find some way to recontrol that chain, that object as it's moving, you're not in control of it. Okay? So, you can another fun one too is how am I gonna do this for the camera? I don't know how I'm gonna do it with the camera. Can you guys see? You can see over here, right? All right, I'll just sort of kind of. What you want to do is, I like to tuck. So this technique, the thing that we just did, where you come up over the head like this. I love to do that, but I also love to do it. Hold on. So like hit. So like learn with these things. You need to learn. It's a lot of back and forth and understanding that you're going to be just kind of doing this a lot. Learn the directions this weapon can go because it's a chain. So what I like to do is I like to practice doing the side-to-side hits like I just said. I don't want to beat this thing up too much. But, you know, the point is hit. Learn to do that. Hit. You know, learn to. And I'm only doing that slow because I'm trying not to hit the ceiling. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna really whip around. A lot of the time it's going to look like this too, where I grab the other end, depending on what I'm doing. So a lot of time I'll actually kind of grab the other end here. So what you can do is when you're rolling around, you're going to trap your own. So we'll come back here. Down. And then when you come back, you're going to kind of trap it. So maybe you came around here, you're going to grab it. Does that make sense? So like, yes, you can do it loosey-goosey, learn the control to be able to do that. But I wouldn't. That's just for practice to learn how to whip those things around. When you're actually doing this for practical use, stop the thing. Have a purpose to your movement. Don't whip it around like, wah! Learn that for... What's this for? What's this for? Do you know? What's that for? Do you know? It's not... So, yes, once you know how to use this, you could just actually cut something open too. There's a lot of stuff around. Once you know how to use this, it's going to look a little different. It actually won't even look the same. When you practice this, it's going to look rolly. It's going to be like, yeah, all flowy, all cigar-like. This sword doesn't cigar very well. It's going to be all flowy like a lightsaber. Yeah. Okay? But, okay? All flowy like a lightsaber. Okay? and then you see them all like kind of go like this and go up with it. All right, I'm actually trying to avoid objects. Does it serve practical use? Sort of. It's the same concept. I'm going to explain how this translates. Same concept. But now, practical use is slightly changes. It's not going to look the same. Here's what it changes to. The ability to, with your wrist, I can't, it's too, hold on. We don't have enough space down here. Keep it in the damn ceiling, it's sort of long. It's the ability when you're doing this, it's the ability to absolutely see. Even up here, you need space for this. This thing's wicked. Like that's the point. Let me back the table up. I don't have the space for this. I just really don't have the space for it. This thing is wicked, you know. Hold on. So suddenly, it's more of a slash. See how my elbow's really coming up for that? It's more like that instead of... This is just... Like it's literally... The whole point is some things get modified, some things look a certain way, and then practically it's used like this. Now, suddenly, I'm blocking your sword effortlessly over and over and over and over and over and over. It's not this. It's this. Okay. So, when we translate, maybe I'll just stay up here. Okay, so when we translate, the point is, you might practice this stuff off Flurry and all nice, but when you actually do it, it's going to be more of a burst, more of a... You know, it's not going to look the same. It's a burst. And it's ridiculous with these because they start getting goofy. As you notice, they actually get stuck on themselves, and then because of these pads, can't whip them around like I can with wooden ones. But you get the point. Is what's this turns into this. Okay? And it looks more like I don't want to do it. But it looks more like, you know, like an explosion. No tension. No tension. Just an explosion of your muscle memory kicks in. You have these things. It's the same thing with this. It's the same thing with this. Okay? You know, when you do this, you know, that should be, the whole point is, yes, I'm going to practice this a bunch of times. I'm going to do this a whole lot. And I'm going to do this a whole lot. You know, I'm gonna screw up on purpose so that it goes in different ways, different angles, and I learn what I'm doing. But, you know, see, and the point is to be able to drop it so that in any situation, you know, you can quickly get this thing up. But if I can't, then oh well. I need to cut the grass. So anyway, you're not going to be able to get a staff up in the grass. It's just not going to happen. Learn how to, in thick grass, if it doesn't happen, learn how to kick it and run after it, because it won't happen in tall grass. You're really going to have to, that time it worked. It just won't happen. So what I do, I don't want to do it here. You don't want to do it here. Screw it. Screw it. Here's what I do. Didn't want to have to do this. Okay. The point is, it should be quick. I got my staff. Learn to do it. Okay, I wish you could see the end of it. I don't have enough space. I'm actually clearing a lot of space on purpose to trick the opponent to get... I don't have any problems with it. I've been doing it for a long time. But yeah, that's last resort. If you can't pick your staff up. The grass is so wet. This thing's getting pushed around. There we go. But really, almost any surface, most of the time I can. There we go. Yeah, see? And if that happens, just dive and roll. The very second that happens, it's a, oops, I messed up. I'm going to mess up on purpose. Oh, shit. You guys couldn't see me, but I immediately, here, I'll do it way back here. I'll do it way back here. So the staff's here. Oh shit, I messed up. I'm gonna grab here, dive and roll. Ready? Oh crap, I messed up. Okay? Immediately. Damn, I still go free. Dive and roll. And then if you miss, dive and roll back the other way. But you shouldn't miss. Don't miss. Okay? Shouldn't miss. Like, what are you going to miss? Grab your staff. Scoop. So scoop. Up under. Grab. Roll. I hope you guys appreciate me getting dirt and grass all over my uniform. To show you this. So, again, if you can't pick it up, oh, I'm a master. I should be able to do anything. No, these are the movies. These things don't happen. These are the movies. immediately. I mean, flat out, honestly, you could do so many things. You could drop down kick like this. See how I have my hand on the staff? Drop down kick, and then as soon as I kick, boom, I whip this around and then I have it. I realized that was slow, but my cat's sort of right there. I don't want it. So again, again, the staff's on the ground. Just okay, and again, okay, again. Get the point. Get the point. Hopefully you guys get the point and you saw it. Normally you really can do that. But yeah, wet grass. No. Don't expect it to work. But yeah, it does. I'm using the hill a little bit to my advantage. So as you can see, it does work, but wet, tall grass, it's never going to go the same. You know, you're never going to necessarily get it. And it's working mainly because I've been rolling in this spot. It's batted down now. If I did it over there, nah. No way. But that is how you do that. That is how you get your staff up normally. You can do that. You can rely on that. But again, wet grass, all that stuff, you can't count on the ground being, you know, life is not perfect. Martial arts can be if utilized properly. You know, understanding that it's at the top level designed to be used that way. You could choose to be lazy and still be very good at martial arts. One of my most fun things to do was when I got to monkey. And I'd square up with a student. You know, not going to use all of monkey on him or anything, just for the fun of it. You know, we tack gloves, and one of my favorite things to do is just sit down here like this. And you know, it's fun to be lazy, but the whole point is to make them think you're being lazy. So, you know, you make them think you're lazy. You know, you make them think you're lazy. You know. No, you make them think you're lazy. Okay? So, you get the picture. Hopefully you guys saw that stuff okay. You get the picture. There's always a way. Martial arts is amazing. Life is not perfect. But you can use martial arts in anything. And, you know, like I just showed you, there's always a way to do something. If you don't know how to do it, ask. You know, there's always a way. But if you're trying to do something and you can't do it and you can't do it and you don't quite understand it, might be a little bit of a thing that you're missing. You know, or something like that. And or you might need to modify it, just like I just did here, where you don't understand that somebody's trying to explain to you, some master is telling you, no, it'll work, it'll work. But you just saw it not work. So the whole point is to show you another way when it doesn't. Because, yeah, the proof's in the pudding, man.
If I can't get that staff to all the years I have practiced, and you saw how easily I got it once it was matted down, just every time. But that was the point. So then I needed to instantly give you another, and I did. Not the most fun method, but it'll get the job done if you really want that staff. But chances are, if you really want that staff, yeah, you'll do that. Because your next movement, whew. Oh, here you go. All right, here. I'm going to be a little lazy about this, okay? Do the roll. Do the roll. You stand up. When you have the staff, screw it. You do the roll. I'll do it. You do the roll. You do the roll, and then when you get up, immediately you're like this. Shift this hand here. Staff behind the head. Pretty cool, right? Here. Okay. Gonna hit the thing. Here you go. You want to go back inside? That was always cool, right? The whole point is to be able to instantly spin it a different direction from any angle. So that way you can instantly recover, just like I just did. Bloom. Bloom. Be able to do that really slow. That's all you gotta do. It's not this one that you can't do. That one's easy. It's this one. Be able to do it really slow. You know what? Boom. Boom, right in the collarbone. You know what? Boom. Boom, right in the collarbone. Oh, yeah, there we go. I used to be able to get that slide much quicker. Just gotta get it back. Gotta do it a few hundred times. There we go. So, the part that I'm talking about, sort of modifying it to be able to do it quickly, but there's a more proper way. Just because I'm retraining the movement. So there it is. It was right there. I got it. See? I think it's actually because I'm on a hill. Yeah, should be done on a hill. I wouldn't do this on a hill. Because I'm constantly shifting that way and it's affecting the gravity on this. What is that? No way, no how. But basically, as you spin that up over top, you want to be able to, you see how in between, the point is I have to be able to grab right at the right spot. So that's what I'm, there we go. So basically, what you want to do is just program that in. And for me, it's just a reprogram. There it is. I got it again. Yep, there it is. So now, yep. Yep. If only I wasn't on uneven ground. If only I wasn't on uneven ground. Oh, but you can't see out here. That sucks. Not really. Only here, right where the incline is, and then I move out of the light. It's still an incline. So it's, oh yeah, yeah. It immediately went to where it needed to go. So yeah, that just tells me I wouldn't really use that on an incline. Here, let me fix myself. Yeah, I have to like, can you guys still see me? It's because, like, I just wouldn't do it that way. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it here. So my feet are working against the incline, but that's okay. I got them hand movement now. So basically, just want to be able to go straight into that. So it's not like that. Try to do this lots of different directions so you guys can see. Like, the whole point is, again, to be able to grab and go defense if you need to. So there you go. You guys wanted a little bit of training, so I give you a little bit of training. I needed to rework that movement that I just did. So I'm good with that now. That is how it's supposed to be, right like that. Around, up over, and then straight into it. Around, up over, and then straight into it. So, that's it. and then I'll just start speeding it up again. That's all. But I want to do it slowly as I regain the muscle memory for it. So that way I lock into the stance properly and I'm not sloppy on my stance. Just slowly add the speed. Because otherwise, if you don't slowly do it, you're not giving your body a chance to catch up to what you've learned. Otherwise, you get sloppy elsewhere. You try to push yourself too much. I'm tucking it in because I'm on an incline. Normally, it would be like way out here. Tucking it in because like makes sense for the incline. So it's for as a balance thing. You know what I mean? Like this, this versus this. That's all. I'm sort of just kind of tucking it like that. Just because of the incline, but it really should be like this. Like that. So yeah, there you go. You guys some cool stuff. Yeah, hopefully you learned a lot from the whole staff thing. Picking a staff up with shoes on is a lot more difficult. Practice it. And bare feet, it'll be the easiest thing in the world to do that whole kick it up thing. With shoes, not so much. And you saw I was even able to do it on the grass over there pretty regularly. So it just takes a long time to be able to get that skilled with being able to do it with shoes on. To be able to actually like... Because what you're doing is you're putting your foot on the staff and you're spinning it back fast enough. This staff actually rolls up over your foot. And then you kick it up. That's what you're actually doing with that. You're putting your foot over it. See what I did there? You're putting your foot over it. And as soon as it's on your foot, you're kicking it up. Okay? So it's obviously sitting down is not normally what I do with this. But, you know, obviously the point is you want to really see how it rolls. Okay? Yeah, sitting down is not going to happen. And honestly, it's not going to happen on pavement either, because pavement's difficult too, but it's a lot better than grass. And like I said, it takes a long time to get it with shoes on, but you can do this. You make it work. I tried to do it too quickly. It was already moving that way. Give it a minute. Actually stop it and then do it. It's okay if you like try to like mess it up a little bit. You know, not everyone's gonna be perfect, but you know, you want to be able to get it 90 to 100% of the time. Never gonna get it 100% of the time, don't think that. It's never, nothing's ever 100%. Except effort. Effort's 100%. So that time, that was a great example of me not doing it fast enough. It did not, see how, that's what I wanted to show you. If you just kind of do this, you're not doing it fast enough. It just hits the foot and it sort of stops. You are not putting enough spin pressure. You really want to, okay? All right, you really want to put a lot of spin pressure on that. I see a lot of martial arts styles do this, where they roll it up onto the other foot. Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. If I ever see you tie up your own feet with a staff, you're gonna get like choke slammed or something. Like it's the sort of thing where like you do something so obvious like that, I'm gonna expose it. That's all I'm saying. Like it's gonna be immediate. I'm gonna take advantage of it right away. So, you know, that's the point. Is like your opponent will see that you can't just do this and tie up both your feet. No, one foot. One foot. And if you don't get it, you don't get it, man. You didn't get it. Like I said, I had that whole spiel earlier about how I have another way to do it, and that's how I do it. And I'd instruct people to do it if they can't, they try it once, and now it's so basically that's the point. You would learn that. You kind of kick it a little bit. You mess up on purpose. You do this enough times until you mess up. Just do it until you mess up. And then I'd have people practice if they mess up to really quickly dive, roll, and catch it. And do that and recover. And, you know, just some that wanted that training. But you know, it's highly recommended that people do that, because what else are you going to do, man? Slowly bend down in front of somebody? Just wait. Hold on, let me, thank you. Thanks. Okay, let's go. No, like, that's not, you know, it's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. So, you know, the whole point is, if you kick it, oh, crap, you have that muscle memory to instinctually just run and dive and quick pick it up. And trust me, it is very hard to do something to somebody who's diving and rolling on the ground. They ain't going to do shit. If anything, you're going to knock them over doing that. Ah! See, exactly like that. Ah. Okay? And if it's something awkward, let's say you kick this up awkward, try to use that. So like if it launches like this, and it's like straight up and down, quick grab it and go into your stance or something. Like use that. No wasted movement. I'm just being lazy. Truthfully. It was up in the air. I had it in my hand. Just being lazy. Which I can afford to do. You, however, can't. That's the point. It's like once you learn certain things, one of the fun gifts of martial arts is once you're to a certain level, only exerting and using the skills required to take down the opponent in front of you, and not needing to use any more to do that. And one of the fun gifts, of course, is the animals and everything that comes with understanding what that means to martial arts and how to properly utilize that. And that's a lot of it. Yep, you're gonna hit your uniform. It's gonna happen. Learn how to keep going. It's gonna happen. You're gonna hit your uniform. Learn how to keep going. It's gonna happen. Also, hands like this on staff. Not like this. Like this. Okay, and they should be relatively separated. Okay. Anyway, I think it's about time. Thanks for watching. The whole point was to just at least do a martial arts stream of some kind. We haven't done one for a while. So, thanks for watching. And, you know, definitely, remember, you know, just remember that these concepts are exactly that. That martial arts, that Kung Fu is a concept. It's more of a way of thinking and being than anything. And the more that you realize that, the closer that you are to, yeah, to absolutely being ready to understand all of it. And it'll all kind of just start making sense. As it did for me, eventually. So, again, thank you guys. Appreciate everybody watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Be safe. You can do a stab like that too, by the way. Between two fingers, isn't that cool? You're gonna want to brace it. But yeah, that's how that one works. But yeah, most of the time you do it like that. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you watching my stream. You're coming in now, you're late. We're heading out. Thanks for watching. Thank you all.